welcome to my channel. My name is Lori, and you can find me at lorioflemuria.com, www.lorieoflemuria.com. I guess you don't really need the www anymore. That's pretty obvious. And then my Instagram is lorioflemuria.com. So today I wanted to do a quick video on one of my offerings that I like to call the Higher Self Transmission. And I wanted to do a video on it because I wanted to give people a better understanding of what it is and why I feel so strongly about this offering. I love this offering. I love what I do. It's very unique. And I think it's so powerful and so important. And there's so many gifts that can come from this offering for people. So basically, it goes like this. If you want the higher self transmission, the only thing you actually need to do is just give me your full name. All I need from you is your full name. And then if there's any questions that you have that you want to ask your higher self, you can send those to me. So that's all that you need to do in terms of participation. And then what I do is for the next 2 days, I initially just sit with your full name and slowly begin to ask him or her to come into my space. And but I don't fully merge with your higher self the first day. I just become aware of the presence. And throughout my day, I'm asking your full higher self to sort of come through and around me. And then on the second day, the day that I'm actually going to be doing the actual transmission, which is also a channeling, I wake up in the morning and I call in your higher self. And I ask for your higher self to be around me for that day. And I can feel your higher self. I throughout the day I'm saying the full name and I'm asking him or her to come in, and I can feel it sort of in and around my presence. And then about 20 minutes before I'm going to sit down and begin the channeling process, I begin to deeply resonate with the higher self, with your higher self, and bring him or her into my room, into the room that I'm going to be doing the channeling, which is this room. And I actually sit right here in this spot. I always create an altar, and actually it's not me that creates the altar, it's your higher self that creates the altar. So as I'm beginning to set the space for this channeling to occur, I begin to light candles, and then I sort of allow your higher self to take over. And I begin to move crystals over to my table. I begin to move certain ascended masters over, certain candles, different colored candles, certain decks, oracle card decks that want to be put onto this altar that is being created. Every single altar I create for a channeling, for a higher self transmission, is completely different. And it's unique to that individual. It is physically created by your higher self. I am just the conduit, and I just move these pieces into this amazing altar that's created. I then sit in front of the altar, and I close my eyes, and I begin to go into a very deep meditation. And through that meditation, I create the space that I need around me by calling in my guides and the ascended masters that I want to work with. And at this time, I begin to physically see your higher self in my space. And if there are specific guides that you work with, I can see those guides in the room. I begin to really feel and hear the messages. They're already coming in, and I haven't even asked for your higher self to come in yet. So I create this space for myself and all of my guides and ascended masters and star family that I need around me is in the room. And then I begin to open up my crown chakra and really begin to allow my higher self to come into my body. And as I'm allowing my higher self to come into my body, I then I say your name out loud, and I ask your higher self to come in through my higher self, and together they sort of merge. So my higher self is sort of merging and almost communicating with your higher self. So it's like there's these two beings that are communicating. And I'm just the conduit. So it's like, imagine I'm bringing in my higher self through here, and then my higher self is like, hey, Jane Smith, you can come in now, you can come in. And so Jane Smith comes in, and so it's my higher self and Jane Smith's higher self, and they begin to communicate. And the information I get comes through me. And the way I do it is I turn my audio on my phone. There's one of those voice records. I turn the audio on and I just begin to channel. And the information comes out. And it's very specific for each person. So there isn't this broad sort of information that just comes for everyone. It's very specific on what you need to hear from your higher self at this moment in time. And a lot of times you don't even know what that is, which is what makes these transmissions so amazing. Is the information you get resonates so deeply in your heart and your core because it is you. It's you speaking to you. But a lot of times we don't hear our higher selves because we don't trust it, we don't understand it, we don't believe it. Our ego gets in the way, so we sort of say, oh no, that's not true, or that doesn't make sense, or that's not what I want to hear. Whatever it is, we tend to block our higher self's information from coming in. The more we learn to bring in our higher selves and hear that voice, the less we do that. But my higher self transmissions allow you to hear the voice, the message, and the truths that you need to hear currently right now. If you have specific questions that you want to ask, I ask your higher self, and your higher self will send those messages to me. So once that transmission happens and I audio record it, I will either send the audio to you via email, or I'll type it all out in an email format and send it to you so that you can print it out and read it over and over again. I also pick specific cards. Sometimes I pick anywhere between 2 and 4 cards. And they always relate to the messages that are being told to you. So that's the basic, and then it usually takes 2 days, and then it comes to you in an email format. So that is the basic explanation of what a higher self transmission is. I feel like it is something that everybody should have. I think that it's a way to reconnect with yourself and your voice and the messages that need to be told to you right now. A lot of times what my clients will get is information that sometimes they weren't even expecting. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's my truth. A lot of times it's like, yes, this resonates. Yes, I know this is what is to be true for me, and I just needed to hear it again, and then they'll read the transmission a couple times in the next couple weeks just to remember. It's that remembrance of what you know to be your truth, but that you forget. And so that's what these higher self transmissions are. It's a remembrance of yourself. It's a remembrance of where you're going. It's a remembrance of what you're supposed to be doing, and who you are and where you're going, all of that stuff. So if you're interested in a higher self transmission, you can find them on my website at lorioflemuria.com. It's down in the comment section as well, so you can find it there. And it's on Instagram and on my bio. And if you have any questions, send me any questions that you might have on the comments below or in my email, and I'll answer any other questions you have about these higher self transmissions. They're for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're super duper advanced in your spiritual awakening or just waking up. It doesn't matter. Your higher self always wants to speak to you. Your higher self always has messages for you. Your higher self wants you to know that they are there with you at all times, honoring and loving you and moving you through this process. You are always connected to your higher self, and it's just a matter of listening and hearing. And so my gifts and my offering is to share these messages. So I hope that I have explained it a little bit better. And I love and honor all of you on your journey. And have a great day. Namaste.